I have with me today in the studio the Police Commissioner of Nassau County, Mr. Patrick J. Ryder. Hello, sir. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. You got to be the busiest guy on Long Island. You have to be. So for you to come here, I don't know where you found the time, but
it's my alma mater. I got to come back.
Okay, very cool. I think Nassau Community College is the best kept secret, probably on Long Island, certainly, and in the country. I know a lot of people who went here and then went to 4-year schools afterwards, and every school took all of the credits that happened here. That's big. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a little piece of your biography, so
absolutely
some people get to see. Just you've been around a while and you've been involved in more things than, I mean, wow, you've got quite a litany of stuff. But just to start out, Patrick J. Ryder was named Commissioner of the Nassau County Police Department by County Executive Laura Curran in February of 2018, and he recently completed his 34th year in law enforcement, serving the last 32 years with the Nassau County Police Department. Commissioner Ryder began his distinguished law enforcement career with the New York Police Department on January 4th, 1984, in the 79th Precinct. He joined the Nassau County Police Department on July 18th, 1986, and was assigned to the 3rd Precinct. In 1988, he joined the department's prestigious Bureau of Special Operations, where he remained until he was promoted to the rank of sergeant in 1995. He was then assigned to the 5th Precinct until 1997, when he was designated a detective sergeant and assigned to the 8th Squad. In 2000, he was assigned to the Asset Forfeiture Bureau and served as Deputy Commanding Officer until 2008, when he was designated the Commanding Officer of the Asset Forfeiture and Intelligence Unit. Now, there's another 2 pages here, Commissioner Ryder.
We'll run out of time.
I won't go through it all, but anything else you'd like to add to that? I mean,
it's been a long career, 34 years, and you top it off on top. But I think the most special part is that I'm an adjunct professor here at Nassau Community College. Right where I started my education, I came back to teach.
That's very cool. You seem to have a very relaxed demeanor for somebody who's got, I've heard it described as a woman once said that having 3 children is like being pecked to death by a pack of ducks. And that's what I imagine you, with 8 cell phones and, everybody wanting your attention every minute. That's got to be.
And I do have those 3 children, and they're triplets. So
really,
they've absorbed a lot of our life, my wife and I. But we're very happy.
Wow! Oh man, triplets, fraternal or
no? Not.
Are they?
No, not identical. Fraternal. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, oh my, wow. But okay, so the biggest thing in the news now that we've been hearing about is the new police academy that they're all talking about. I happen to live near the school that the police department uses now as the academy.
Over at Massapequa Park.
Yes. And I think once I've seen the cadets and doing a jogging thing where the whole line went across Lakeshore Drive as they were going through the preserve, doing their day run or whatever. I think the only group that I can think of that's not going to be happy about the new police academy is the people who live in Massapequa Park and like the police presence.
Yeah, it's a nice presence that we have over there. We have a great relationship with the community, Massapequa Park. But we've been in existence since 1925, and we've never had a police academy. We've always rented. At one point, we actually used condemned trailers over at the Nassau County Jail that were condemned for the prisoners, but were okayed us to run recruit training through. We had to get ourselves buzzed in and buzzed out of the jail. And it wasn't really home. We moved to Massapequa about 9-10 years ago. We've had a great relationship with the community, but it cost us. It cost us about $800,000 a year to run that building. By building this new academy, that $800,000 now of tax money goes back into the county budget.
So, citizens in Nassau County, they're going to ask me, where is the money coming from?
So the money is going to be bonded.
Okay.
If you took the money that we're setting aside of this $800,000 and put it away, you can actually pay the bonding when the bonding matures. There's a $54 million project. Yeah. That's including overages and everything from soup to nuts in the building, electronics, technology. The idea of the building, though, is it's an 89,000 square foot building. It's 3 floors. The hub of that building will be the Asset Forfeiture and Intelligence Unit. That is how we've basically funded most of our police items and technology in the last 15 years, 16 years. Asset forfeiture is a process that allows us to seize money from drug dealers, and after the criminal case is done, we're allowed to use that money then against them, to fight against them drug dealers. One of the big programs involved in that is training. So that's where we come into the police academy. So we've built our intel center on both asset forfeiture money. You know, Nassau County is the 13th largest municipal police department in the country. And we sit next to one of the biggest targets for terrorism to obviously our west. And we work very closely with the NYPD and have a great partnership, both with NYPD and Suffolk County PD, because we work together on the terrorism world.
All right. Wow. I'm thinking of, have they put out any renditions of what the new academy would look like?
So if I gave you a look at the building, yes, there are some photos that went out with the press release.
Okay.
But the building has a big facade on the right, and it says NCPD on it. But what that facade is behind it is what we call a tactical warehouse. The tactical warehouse would be about the size of 3 full-court basketball gyms, 2.5 stories high. The reason we did it that way, we're going to use it for what we call a tactical warehouse that we can train. Cops need to train in real time, as real as you can make it. They need to fire their weapons in real time. They use their tasers in real time. They use baton training, tactical training. All of that needs to be done in more real time so cops have a better understanding on what they're doing, when they're doing. It's part of understanding your environment. The tactical warehouse allows us to have a mat room where we teach hand-to-hand combat. It allows us to have moving walls and murals, if you will, that will set up as like the bank. So you arrive to the call for the bank, which is an emergency for a robbery in progress. The cops can actually drive into this facility because it has outside garage doors that allow them to drive in, exit the vehicle, approach the bank that's currently being robbed, tactically safe, and then if there's a hostage situation, they can back out and do what's the normal protocols for the police department. So it gives real-life training. Yeah. And on top of it, the reason we built it on this campus, Nassau Community College is one of the most diverse community colleges in the country. We sit in the heart of Hempstead. We are constantly looking to get more diverse in the police department. Because, you know, look, you need to fairly represent the citizens that you police and swear to protect and serve. We always have a problem with recruitment. By building this facility here, we will be partnered with the criminal justice program in the college, which we've already met with. Right. Those programs will interchange with studies. We'll teach at the college will come and teach our recruits. So some of the training that's done here for students will also come to us, and we'll also go to the students and teach. Pulling those kids into law enforcement jobs here in Nassau County, not just thinking that there's someone that they got to go to the NYPD. Right. We have a home for them here too. Right. The other idea of it with the tactical warehouse, on weekends, we can run our PAL program, Police Athletic League programs. We can run police youth academies, and we can also run basketball camps. There's a program in New York City paid for by the federal government called Ryder, High Intensity Drug Trafficking Area. But what Ryder does more than just go after drug dealers, they provide a resource to run programs like basketball camps in communities. Right. We're always trying to reach to the foundation. The kids are our foundation. You build up from the foundation. So by going into these communities, Hempstead, Roosevelt, Uniondale, Freeport, Westbury, we pull them in on a Saturday or even a week-long camp held at the college, right here at our police academy. They can come in. We could set up basketball camps and bring in retired NBA players to come in and teach the kids how to play. Ryder will fund the NBA players to come here. Our police foundation, which is a big, huge part of how we got this academy started, they've put up the first $4 million for plans, designs, and work on the grounds already to make sure that we are environmentally correct. There's over $4 million that they have put into the program so far. So we'll bring these kids in on a weekend, and they'll understand a day in the life of the police department. They'll get to build better relationships with our cops, and then from that future foundation, they'll grow into the walls of the police department and become a more diverse police department.
That's great. You know, I'm from the days of, at least I remember it, not necessarily out in Nassau County, but like in Brooklyn, when they used to have the beat cop. And if there was an issue in a neighborhood someplace, they could say, Fred, that's your thing. Come over here. I want to know. Some guy named Harry did. Oh, yeah, I know him. I'll be back in an hour. I'll let you know. And he would go back into the neighborhood. They all knew the guy. So they, that kind of hands-on, which is what this sounds like.
Yes. We've actually, our POP program, Problem-Oriented Policing, they're the hands-on in the community. They're starting to deal more and more with, we're actually starting to put foot posts back into existence where we can go, like you said, a beat cop, into some of the more district-y areas like Massapequa Park, walk through there a Friday in the afternoon. We do it with a program called COPE. Mm-hmm. And our COPE units go in there. They're in uniform for the first 2 or 3 hours. They deal with the public. They say hello. They greet people, building relationships, and then they pull back out and they go do other functions that we need. Everything that we do in the police department is intelligence-based, evidence-based. We run what's called an intelligence-led policing program. By doing that allows our cops to have more interaction with the community that they police. If you don't understand an environment that you police, both ethically, environmentally, culturally, criminally, you're not going to be able to police it correctly. So a better educated cop about the area he polices will better police.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, I think that's great. I think one of the issues that we have is that, everybody knows that feeling when you're driving in your car and the lights go on behind you, and I think that kids, what you're doing there will make them unafraid to approach a cop, because I think a lot of the atmosphere and a lot of the stuff they hear is telling them don't.
Right. So, social media has been one of the greatest changes in our society, but it's also been one of the worst.
Yes, I agree.
And kids things go viral real quick. When an officer goes to arrest somebody, if somebody doesn't want to be arrested, if somebody doesn't want to put their hands behind the back, it's going to take more than one cop to get that done. Sometimes 3 to 4 cops, because the individual is just strong enough and will hold those hands underneath. People see that, and it becomes now, they were beating the man that was unarmed on the street. No, we're trying to place him under arrest for his own control.
What's this? My producer is showing me a note, and I'm half blind. So, no, I think that I saw you give a speech. I guess it was Laura Curran. You were out there on TV, and it was News 12 or somebody. But so many of those things you were saying reminded me of that beat cop idea, and I haven't heard a lot of that before I seen you. I remember the days when, the cops got into their cars and that was it. It was like they're, and you think right away, well, it's not going to help. It's a bigger divide, because the only time you interface with the police department is when there's trouble or when, so I love the basketball thing and get to them where they live.
Right.
Where their head is at.
You look at Nassau County, we have a population of about 1.3 million people. We are the safest county for its size in the country, hands down. Our crime rate in the last 10 years has dropped 30%. We're down 3.5% again in all major crimes as of this morning. But we sometimes, technology has improved the way we police. But you can't replace the cop, and you can't replace the human element. You have to go back to your roots sometimes and understand that it's communities. This country's built on communities, from the smallest to the largest. So we have to interact with those communities if we're going to police them. When we go into a community, by greeting them, having town hall meetings, whether it's on an opiate crisis, whether it's on a gang issue, whether it's on a school resource program, we go into these communities and we teach them about how we do and why we do. Then they come back with the questions and we try to answer them as being as very transparent as we can. You can't hold back because, again, social media will take it, twist it, and next thing it becomes law. Right.
Well, and in that sense, what you see is a team. You start to see a team between the community and the police, not an antagonistic relationship.
That's exactly what we want. We want to be a part of the team. We want them to be part of our team, and we are part of their team.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I finally got that note, and yes, I would like to reestablish that I am talking to Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick J. Ryder here right in the studio. I can't believe that. You just raised our real estate quite a bit.